welcome to ATV. I'm Suad Asfour. My beautiful guest today is Jana Kadah. Jana is a sophomore at San Jose State University. She is a political science major with minor in journalism and human rights. At her university, she is the president of Students for Justice in Palestine and co-founder of the Syrian Refugee Relief Committee. Last year, as vice president, Jana helped pass the divestment resolution through her school government, making San Jose State University the first California state university to pass it. She is currently working on starting a scholarship for Syrian refugees at San Jose State University. Most recently, she went on a journalism study program to Greece and Germany. She is here today to share with us her experience, and I'd like to welcome you to the show, Jana. Thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me.
Great. You are doing an amazing job. We'd like to know more about you. First, let's start about your childhood and living in the Bay Area to an Arabic parent. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Yeah, so I grew up in San Jose. I was born in San Jose. Grew up with 3 sisters, so you can imagine how stressful and busy the household was. But it was nice, and we had a lot of support from our parents, always driving us around from place to place, making sure that we went to all of our lessons and stuff like that.
So you lived just normal American life,
Yeah.
but did you add the language to that? Did they teach you to speak the Arabic at early age, and do you speak Arabic now?
Yeah, so since we were younger, we would go to Syria every summer.
Okay.
And so that was one thing that very instilled in us to learn Arabic. And it wasn't just the summer trips, but we also went to Arabic school every weekend and did a bunch. I mean, I'm still going to Arabic school right now and trying to perfect the language. So
which one you go to right now? Is it at the Arabic Culture Center?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's really good, and I encourage a lot of people to join there.
Yeah.
It's very good. So you speak Arabic, and I'm sure you probably had Arabic food for dinner every night.
Yes.
So both parents from Syria. Okay, great. And how much traveling have you done to go back?
So like I said before, we would go every summer, and unfortunately we stopped once the conflict in Syria started. So my last time going was 2011.
Oh, wow. That's really bad. In the past 5 years, things has changed a lot.
A lot, yeah.
Okay, so I understand from reading about you that you've been doing some refugee works. Can you tell us a little bit about your programs and that you're active with in college?
Yeah, so we, as a club on campus, we try to raise money to help different organizations provide aid for Syrian refugees. It's a small little thing that we can do as students. But also right now we're working on making a scholarship for Syrian refugees. So,
oh, wow.
Yeah, they would apply through the university, and then hopefully the plan is to have all the funds provided starting next year.
Okay, that's good. That's a big step. And I'm glad it's working out for you, because that's very important. And right now we need it, because a lot of refugees has been flooding their country from Syria especially. So do you just provide that only for Syrian refugees or Palestinian and other culture, other nationalities?
As of right now, it's specifically said for Syrian refugees, but we have been talking about expanding it to any refugees. We just want to address the Syrian conflict because it's giving the most refugees. So
right now.
Yeah, it's the most it's an emergency, so we're trying to.
Right, it's more. Okay, so I understand you've done some traveling to Greece and Germany, and you visited some refugees. Now, the refugees you visited, were they all from Syria also, or all different kinds?
No, there was a bunch of different kinds of refugees. So there was a lot from Afghanistan, Palestine, Lebanon, even I met a family from Ecuador. So yeah, there was a big mix.
So what else you learn when you go visit these campuses in other countries?
Well, it's definitely eye-opening, because it's one thing to read about it, and it's a very different thing to go see it and see the suffering, firsthand. And my first time actually doing it was when I was 16, going into my senior year of high school, or 17 maybe. But
wow, that's very young.
Yeah, my parents they sent us to Lebanon, me and my sister, by ourselves, and that was what shaped me to, realize that my mission in life was to do everything that I could to help my people and whoever was in need.
That's when you get started.
That's when everything started. Yeah.
Wow, that's excellent. So now I see a lot of refugees relocating in San Jose area and the Bay Area, basically. Yeah. What other programs are available for them?
So there are different organizations that they can go to, like the IRC. But right now, what we're doing and a few other, committed people are just trying to help in any way we can, not through an organization, but just through donating money or time, signing them up for English as a second language class, or helping them find a house. This is all purely volunteer-based. And so there's the people that I'm working with, it's not a real organization. We're just, on Facebook communicating and doing what we can.
What about the legality status of, getting the right forms and resident cards and all this? Who helped them with that?
So we have people who've become experts and have learned how to do all these things. So there are organizations, and then we also help with.
You still advise them always you'll be there for them?
Yeah.
So how do you feel? I mean, you're very young to be doing a humanitarian ad. You said you enrolled in this a few years back, and you're very young right now. How does it feel to be doing this? Because what you're doing is like adult people do it later in life, after they go through experience and they start realizing that now it's time to do some humanitarian work or volunteer. But you started at very early age.
Yeah, well, I mean, I kind of feel like it's my duty. I was lucky enough to grow up in the Bay Area with loving parents who supported everything that I wanted to do. And not many people, especially in Syria right now, had the same privilege as me. And so as someone who has those blessings, I feel like it's my job to make sure that I do whatever I can so that everyone else is more comfortable or life is a little bit easier. I mean, obviously it makes me feel good about myself when I do these things, but it more feels like something that I have to do.
But what do you think was the motive? There has to be some kind of experience you have maybe when you were a child, or something that really pushed you to do that, or helped you to do it, or motivated you to do it. What do you think that experience was? Do you remember anything? Any certain events maybe, or?
I mean, I remember going to protests with my parents for Palestine, so I was always very in touch with the conflicts going on in the Arab world. But to see on Facebook girls that I went to school with in Syria, summer camp, to be refugees now, I think that's what drove me to, it really hit home to see people that I knew really being affected by this.
So you're saying you've been involved, and that staying in touch with the culture, or whether it's Palestinian demonstration or other countries, you felt like, you belong to these people and you hate to see them getting more hurt.
Exactly, yeah. I mean, if God forbid, like, that could have been me if we had stayed in Syria, It could have happened to anyone. These are things that you can't control, so.
Yeah, so you feel blessed and lucky living in this area and this country.
Yes, very.
Do you know a lot of your family doing this, or were you the only person?
Well, my parents they gave me the opportunity to go to Lebanon, so they've always been helping any way they can. And I see, I have cousins who try their best to do what they can as well. So it's good to have a family network who supports what you're doing and is also trying to help, with the situation in Syria.
Okay, so again, it's like we're living in this area, especially in California. Life is so exciting. And so you gotta keep doing something to sustain your culture. What is it exactly you're doing to stay the way you are and not let other influence get you out of this? What do you do?
Well, I still live at home, and my parents are very good at that. We only speak Arabic at home, and we only eat Arabic food. But they make it fun, and we grew up around a lot of other Arab families, and so having that connection with your friends helps keep the culture alive. And even at at my university, a lot of my friends are Arab and, you know, share the same culture because we work so closely in the club. So it's just always around, and I love my culture, and so I like to stay true to it.
Does it help because you have more students in San Jose State University right now who are from back home or the same culture with you?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Does that give you more encouragement?
Yes, especially when you have when you have your friends trying to fight for the same cause, and that even we talk to each other in Arabic sometimes, and it's just fun. It's fun. Yeah.
But I'm sure every once in a while you'll get some people who wants to piss you off, like maybe different culture, people from different culture, they probably don't like what you're doing. How do you deal with situations like that?
So we usually don't react. We'll report it to the university police because we don't want to prove any stereotypes correct. And we're not an aggressive people, you know. We're calm, and we just try to suck it up and move on because
you're peaceful.
We're peaceful, yeah.
Okay, but that happened?
Oh yeah, it does.
Did it happen with you?
Yeah, it does happen.
I see. Now, you traveled to Greece and Germany, and you see different kind of refugees. What was the difference in each country? What do they do different for these refugees? Do they have, do they give them housing and food, or do they have them, they need to surrender in one area? How much freedom they have? How they are living there?
Well, in Germany, they're actually living very well. I'm sure everyone knows from the news, and they have the German government provides stipends every month for the people and classes, and but that's very different than the situation in Greece. In Greece, because the Greek government is in such a bad state, they can't really provide aid to their own people, let alone refugees coming in. And with the new EU-Turkey deal, the refugees are forced to stay in Greece until, you know, another country opens up their borders. And so it's a very difficult process. You have refugees living in detention centers for months on end, not knowing if their papers are even going to be accepted, if they can even leave, and they're not allowed to go back. So in Greece, you see a lot of hopelessness and just really bad humanitarian conditions that, you know, dogs are treated better.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Is there any other countries that you visited to see how they're living?
Well, when I went to Jordan, Lebanon, I saw.
How was that?
It was eye-opening, definitely. I worked mostly with children. Yeah, so I volunteered. I taught them English and Arabic. So they're hopeful. I didn't see as much pain in them as I did when I was working with adults.
And have you visited Jordan refugees?
No, but
Not
the
yet.
plan is this summer.
Okay, so what other plans you have traveling coming up? How many countries and when?
So this summer I'm planning on hopefully going to Palestine for a 6-week Arabic program. And
wow.
Yeah, I'm really excited.
That's interesting. That's really good.
And then hopefully Jordan, and we'll see, maybe Lebanon.
Oh, that's good. I wish you the best. You are doing an amazing job. I want you to tell me what's this bag over there. What's this? If you pick it up and you can show it to us.
Sure, yeah. So when I was on Lesbos, the island 6 miles away from Turkey, it's a Greek island, we visited a refugee camp, and it was for vulnerable people. So single mothers with children, people with cancer, just people who are more vulnerable than others. That was a very nice camp that we visited, and one of the programs that they had was they had like a little room and they had sewing machines. And so they decided to repurpose the life jackets that refugees wore getting from Turkey to Lesbos and make them into bags. And so these are made actually from the life jackets, and they're made by refugees. So yeah.
So now you have people here selling it, and
yeah. So
is it from school where you go, from San Jose State University? They
Yeah.
help you sell this?
Yeah, so a few a few students who went on the journalism program with me, and a professor of mine decided that we would bring back 200 of these bags.
Wow.
And sell them, not only to raise money and send it back to the refugee camp, which 100% of the proceeds go to, but also to raise awareness about everything that's going on.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
I like the colors. Are they all the same colors or different?
No, they're all
Depends.
completely unique because they're made out of different life jackets, and they also come in different sizes and shapes. So
That's good.
Yeah.
That's really nice. That's very interesting.
Mhm.
So you have any idea how many refugees we have from Syria this past 5 years? Do you have any clue about the number?
In a specific area
Or just who left their country? All of them together?
Yeah, so I mean, I've read a lot about it. I've seen different numbers. I've heard it's about a quarter of the population. You have 6.5 million people displaced within Syria and about 4.5 million displaced out of Syria. So
Yeah. And I remember in 1948, about 85% of the population of the Palestinian people were expelled from their country.
yes.
And I mean, between what you're doing and what we hear on the news, I pray for peace every day, and I hope justice will take place.
Hopefully,
Yeah. So I want you to give advices to anybody who's your age, who's thinking about doing what you're doing, and what have you learned that you want to bring it out to their attention?
Well, the most important thing is to find something that you're passionate about, because if you don't have that passion to drive you, you'll get overwhelmed. And I mean, it is overwhelming, especially the more you connect with people who do social justice, the more injustices you learn about, and you start to want to help every single thing. But find that cause that drives you to do what you want to do, and then, give it your all, I think, yeah.
Yeah, well, I also mentioned in the beginning that your major right now is you have journalism and you have political science.
Yes.
Why political science? Why did you choose that?
Well, because I wanted to learn about how politics works, because that plays such a big role in everyday life. Everything about how we live is determined by politics. So I wanted to understand that. At first, I had intentions of working with the government, running for Senate maybe, but I think now that my call, or what I want to do is be a human rights lawyer. So, but I still am interested in politics. So,
that's really good. Do you think? I know your grandpa, Mr. Zaghloul Kadah, and he is a very influential guy and very well known in our community. نوجه له تحية. He's a nice guy. Do you think he had some influence on you?
Oh, definitely, yeah.
To be who you are right now?
Definitely. I mean, just we would spend a lot of time with him because he lived in San Jose as well when we were younger, and he always would ask us about what we were doing in school, and really emphasizing education and how important it was, and how it, we never felt like a gender barrier or anything like that. He believed that we could be strong women, and he told us that. So he really did and he also brought the Arab culture to us, and showed us the beauty of Syrian and Arab culture.
Yeah, I noticed like your grandparents are one of the families who are trying to preserve our culture by selling the Arabic food in their restaurant and all this. So what do you do for fun?
I love to play soccer, and I love just playing at home with, I have a little 3-year-old sister. So I spend a lot of time with her. But hanging out with friends, just normal college kid stuff.
You try to stick with Arabic friends, or you have all kinds of friends?
No, I mean, I have all kinds of friends. Just when I'm working, even in the club, there's a wide variety. We have a Jewish outreach officer, so we have a big variety of people.
Wow.
Yeah. It's really amazing.
That's good. And we also talked about you taking Arabic classes at the Arab Culture Center in San Jose. Can you tell us how effective that program is? And do you like to see any changes happening there, or are you happy with it?
I'm really happy with it. It's close, so I feel like the education is very direct, and it's just a good reminder to keep if you have that practice to keep reading and writing Arabic, then you become more proficient in it. So I really like just going there every week.
Okay, but it wasn't hard for you to learn how to write and read?
I've been doing it since I was very young, so it probably was hard at first, but now it's okay.
Yeah, that's really good. What else happened in college? Like what's coming up soon that you like to announce? maybe invite some people to attend any of your activities, or to be aware of what you guys doing there, being the vice president and all that?
Yeah, sure. So we hold a lot of different small meetings as a club. One of the things that we're supporting as a club is the resolution to change Columbus Day to Indigenous Peoples Day, which is really cool.
What is that? Change it to what?
Indigenous Peoples Day, so to honor Native culture.
Oh, wow. Well, that's interesting. And how is it going? Is it going to work out?
I think so. I mean, we have a lot of support from the student body and different organizations on campus. And from the first hearing, it didn't seem like there was any objection for it. So,
okay.
Yeah.
And how was you were able to be the first one to change the diversity of what we mentioned here in the very beginning?
The divestment?
Yes. How were you able to do that? How hard was it?
Oh, it was really hard. I mean, they were working, before I came to San Jose State, the officers before were working on it. One of the things that really helped us was educating our fellow students about the conflict, because when people know the truth about the Palestine-Israel conflict, it's very clear, which side is right and which side is the oppressor. And so that's what we did. We went to different clubs, we gave them a presentation and asked them if they could help us. And thankfully, we got a coalition of 28 different student organizations and off-campus organizations to support the divestment resolution.
Wow.
So it wasn't just
That's
Palestinians.
What helped you to succeed
Definitely.
on that.
It was a diverse group. We had Black Student Union supporting us, we had MECHA supporting us, the Sikh Student Association, all sorts of clubs.
So were you the original person to originate this idea? You came up with it, the first one?
Oh no, the divestment, it has been going on for a while now. I mean, we've seen schools like UC Berkeley pass it and stuff, so we got inspired by them.
Okay, so you are also the president of the Student for Justice in Palestine. What do you do there? How much duty you have and what you got to do?
So what our goal is for this semester is to educate more people about the conflict and let them know what's really going on, because U.S. media is so biased. So
How you educate them? What do you do?
We hold different meetings. So we have movie nights, we have Jeopardy nights, we have this week on Thursday we're having an event called Baklava and Chill.
Okay, then come on, tell everybody about it. Let them come by.
Yeah, so we're going to just give an introduction to the Palestine conflict and provide free baklava.
I'll be there.
Yes.
I'll be there. Is that just once a month, or how often you do that?
It depends, because we all are all so busy. We try to do it every 2 weeks.
Okay, so you have one coming up this Thursday?
Yes.
Okay, what's the next date for the next one?
As of right now, we have a bake sale coming up on the 24th.
The 24th of October. So hopefully more people will show up to that one. Yeah. And they'll get to know. And you are also the Syrian Refugee Relief Committee. How much duty you have there, and how many people you have helping you?
So we have, as of right now, we only have a little bit of people. It's mostly not like a set amount of numbers. It's whoever wants to come and help us. Last year we were more active. This year we're focusing more on trying to get this scholarship created. So last year, an example of something we did was Syria Awareness Week. So every week we were in front of the student union, showing Syrian culture, selling Syrian food, or letting people try on like the gallabiyas or abayas, and taking pictures to raise money so that we can send it back to
that is nice.
Refugees.
That is nice. You are doing an amazing job. So you told me why you start studying political science, and I also know you are studying journalism. What's your goal there?
So I haven't decided exactly what I want to do. I think that journalism holds a lot of power to, you have a lot of people listening to you as a journalist, and you can, give the truth about injustices going on. The thing that really drove me to be a journalist was actually my professor who went on the trip, and I remember sitting in the refugee camp crying because I was hearing so many horrible stories, and I didn't feel like I was helping. I just felt like I was making them talk about things that were painful. And she told me that you have to really believe that what you're doing is good, because you're not just listening to them and giving them that, therapeutic session to just talk about it, but you're sharing their story. And when you share their story, you're inspiring others to, stand up and do things to help them. and raise awareness about, you know, how they're living. And so I think that there is a real power in journalism. And
beautiful.
Yeah.
And I think that's going to help you in general overall. And we might need you to come and help us here on the show.
Yeah, I would love that.
So hopefully you can come here and be part of us. And since you belong with our culture center in San Jose, I'll be more than happy to have you on the show again and again. And I want to thank you so much for coming. And keep doing what you've been doing. I'm so proud of you. You're the youngest one I ever met doing this kind of work.
Thank you.
And keep doing it. Encourage more people your age and in college. Keep them going. And since you have the ability and that makes you feel good and you feel successful, keep it up.
Thank you so much.
What's your final word?
I don't know. Free Palestine and save Syria, I guess.
Save Syria and peace for Palestine. Yes. And I hope peace for the whole Middle East.
Of course.
You know, the whole Middle East, we have to pray for it. Make sure that hopefully things will change. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I really hope so.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for coming.
Thank you.
And I wish you the best of luck.
Thank you.
Thank you for watching us. See you again next week. Good night.